Hello everyone, myself Pragathi. Today I am going to explain about partial pulpotomy. Is also known as civics pulpotomy. First, what is partial pulpotomy? The partial pulpotomy is defined as the inflamed portion of the coronal pulp about 1 to 3 mm is removed, while the other pulp is preserved to maintain the pulp vitality. And the indications for the partial pulpotomy is young permanent tooth, traumatic pulp exposure, that is helix class 3 fractures, and vital pulp with controlled bleeding and no spontaneous pain, and tooth with the incomplete root formation, that is the open apex. And the contraindications for the partial pulpotomy is non-vital tooth, uncontrollable bleeding, and the radiographic shows the periapical pathology. Certain criteria are need for the partial pulpotomy, that is the size of the exposure is about 0.5 to 1 mm, and the duration of the exposure under treatment is up to 48 hours, and the duration of the hemorrhage less than 10 minutes. If these criteria are fulfilled only, the partial pulpotomy is the best conservative treatment option. Imagine a young patient with fractured front tooth region with pulp exposure. In such cases, the root development is not completed. So, removal of the too much of pulp can stop the root development. That's why we choose the partial pulpotomy. Let's see how this save the tooth. Picture on the screen shows the young permanent tooth. In such cases, the inflammation is often confined to the top portion of the pulp. In such cases, first we have to remove the inflamed portion of the coronal pulp. Then the second diagram denotes the hemostasis, that is the bleeding is controlled by using cotton pellet or the sodium hypochlorite, and the third diagram denotes the placement of the MTA or calcium hydroxide. This MTA and calcium hydroxide are induce the tertiary dentin formation, keep the pulp alive and healthy, and allows continued root formation, that is apexogenesis. Save pulp, not remove it. That is the main idea behind the partial pulpotomy.